Going, guys, welcome to another video, and today we are building a React chat agent using n8n. So first of all, let me show you how things are working here. So when I come here to this workflow, you can see I will call it different workflows right now. So for the React chat AI agent, let me show you how it works. First, inactivate it, so I can just go in and show you real time how things are looking here. Let me just ask you a question like, what are my text rights? Now the thing is, this specific chat agent is using the document, this one, the IRS Text Guide 2024. Now it's the official document. Now you could use any document you want. For this specific example, we're just using it. And when I ask it a question, what are my text rights? It will run the scenario and it will get the data specifically from that document. You can see here the AI is writing that answer for it. All right, so there you have it. There you have the entire answer directly fetched from this document. Now you can probably assume that this is something that you can sell, and it's gonna sell really well because companies and different agencies and everything, they really want something specific for their use case. It's kind of like on its own, right? So something like that. Now I'm going to close this one, and I'm going to tell you what are the things that we need and how we can create one. Let's go back to homepage and click on create workflow. Once you do that, I'm going to click here and I am going to click trigger manually. Once I do that, I have to create a new node, which is going to be Google Drive. And with this one, we are going to download the file. The file we are downloading is this file, and we are pushing it to Pinecone vector store. I'll explain everything in more detail once we go to the each step, but just for now, you need Pinecone vector store, and you need a document that is going to be in the Google Drive, right? And then we will also need OpenAI's API key. So pretty simple, not much complex. I'm going to just walk you through each step so you know and you will understand everything you need. So basically, just click on download file. It will download that Google Drive for you. So once we do that, we need a file. Obviously, operation is going to be download, and I'm gonna use URL. Now you can use file, or you can use list ID or URL. I'm gonna use URL just for the sake of the simplicity. But make sure the URL that you're giving it the access, you should have the access, right? Like I have an access of yours, so you should give it access. Otherwise, it won't work. So once I do that, by the way, you also need to connect your account. Connecting account is pretty simple. You just click on create new credentials, and you go here and add your client ID and client secret. Now, how do you get that? You basically just click here to open docs. It will open the official documentation by n8n, and it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and everything you need is in here. All right, there's also as well available as a video. Now you can just watch a video and just do it yourself. It's pretty simple and pretty easy. Just go to Google Drive section, and it would just basically tell you everything you need to connect it. So it's pretty simple. Just going back here, so you need to add your client ID, and you can see how you can do that. They will basically pinpoint everything. This documentation is going to be way more detailed than what I can possibly explain here in this video. So just go over this document and you will have the setup in no time. You can also watch this video. So it's pretty simple and basic. Once you have that setup, you click on save, and it will add the new credential, new account for you. You can see I currently have around 4 accounts. I'm going to use this third one. And I'm going to use the URL for that specific document, this one. And once I do execute step, you can see that I have my document pulled up right here. So there you have it. Here I have a document and its name and everything. Now you need to remember that this document is in binary format. So once we go ahead and do the next step with Pinecone vector store, you will need this information, because right now a document is in binary, so we're getting the data in binary. So we need everything else is also be considerate in binary too, right? When I click here to Google Drive, all right, when I click here, I'm going to need Pinecone. Now, Pinecone vector store, basically, we're not going to get too much detail into this video. You just need to know as of now is that it's going to help us with the documents as kind of pushing them, as kind of dealing them with the vector side, right? So once you get here, you just need to push that data to vector store, and for that you need add document to vector store. Once you do that, it will help you out with pushing this specific document into Pinecone vector store, right? So it's just a store, right? And it will push that document into that store in the form of vector that you can just retrieve and feed it to OpenAI chatbot or any other chatbot and use it however you want. Now, this is going to be one basic example, but there are different thousands of different examples that you can use and systems that you can sell, and the system that we are currently selling in our agency too. Once you're here, we're just using insert documents is the operation mode, and from list is going to be uh, the index that we're just selecting. Now, how do we do that? Once you're here, you also need to connect your account. So just go here to pinecone.io and sign up or log in if you have account. If you don't have, you just sign up. And once you do that, you get here to the main page. Currently, you can see I have 3 different indexes with these names. Indexes are just big house, you can assume. Once you're here at the home page, you basically just click on create index. Once you do that, you just give it a name. Now, I have some indexes before. Let me see how many indexes I have currently that are open. Rag AI, Rag Data, Rag Chat. Let's just name it Rag Chat. Or I was just checking if I just don't, duplicate the name or something. So once we do that, Rag Chat, you need to select the embedding method. Now, this is important, by the way. You just need to focus here because this is important. Once you're here, you need to make sure that the dimensions that you are selecting should be something that your AI model or the embedding model that you're going to select in n8n would have, should have. Because if you don't do that, if you don't match it up, if you don't match up the dimensions that the Pinecone is expecting, the system will not work. So for that, uh, you can see that this Llama Text Embed V2 version has dimensions of 1024 because this is what it is expecting. For the Microsoft, you can see it's 1024. Now, what we need is going to be 1536, which are the dimensions of OpenAI text model, which is small, right? So it's small 3, it's the dimensions of it. So this is what we need at the moment. So basically, you can do that easily. Autofill the values from the selecting here. Text embedding 3 small. This is pretty small, that sufficient for us for the example, for the sake of this video, by the way. So once you do that, you simply click on set configuration, and once you do that, it will fill out the information as it is. And so just leave everything as is. You can come back here again after and just play around once you understand these things in a more better way. So it's going to be serverless. By the way, I'm also using a test account, so everything you see here would probably be similar. But instead of just remembering what I'm clicking or everything, just try to memorize the concepts that I'm telling you, that you need this, the name and the batting and the dimensions and everything. So once you do that, you'll be good to go even after they change the UI or something. But the UI changes a lot, so that's why I'm telling you this. So cloud provider is going to be Amazon. You could use any, it doesn't matter. Now the starter plan, I'm going to click create index, and the name is going to be React Chat. All right. So once we have that figured out, it will create a new index with the name React Chat, and it's live. You can see from here with the green dot. In here, now this is a specific room or a house, you could say, and in it we have namespaces. Now these namespaces you could refer them to as rooms in your house. All right. And they will have different partitions with the different names. Now it could be room name or something, and they will have records stored in them that I will just show you how we're going to do that. Once you do that, basically just come back here and from the list choose. I'm gonna click on it again. I'm gonna so it's loading up. It will load up the one that we just created index. The index is going to be React Chat, and the batch is going to be 200. All right. Now we need to create a new namespace, and I'm just going to call it data. For the sake of simplicity, just call it data. Add your new embedding. Now embedding is going to be, you can use anything, but remember I told you about dimensions. We need to make sure that dimensions we are selecting here should definitely be similar to the Pinecone vector store that they're expecting. Let me just close this one for simplicity. So to do that, you can now use Gemini. All right, so you're thinking about it, because the Gemini don't have 1536 dimensions as of now, but you can use the embedding Google Vertex, and you can change the dimensions, which is not so complex, but it's not easy, too much easy. But you can do that. So instead of just when you understand this, you can, or when you're creating some complex system for a client, you can just play around and just figure out things. But right now, just click on embeddings OpenAI, and the model is going to be three small. Good enough with me. And then I can select a new where to what to do with the document, right? For that, you click here and default data loader. That's how you figure this out. Once you're here, remember we have a document in Google Drive with the binary in the binary, so our system is kind of set for binary. So we also need to do here with binary, all right? Process the data in binary form, because if we don't do that, it will not work. The mode is going to be load all input data, and it will automatically detect the MIME type. The text splitting is going to be simple. It's going to split every 1,000 characters with 200 character overlap. So it's pretty straightforward, and this is good enough for the sake of this example. But if you are building, again, if you're building a custom system, and if you're building something complex for a client, you can obviously play around with different things. You can use custom, and then you can add another node that will basically help you out with the custom splitting and everything. But for the sake of example and this video, we're just going with simple. Okay. By the way, when you understand things and when you try to grasp the ideas and everything, and when you're just playing out on your own, things try to become more simple and easy. It's not that complex as it looks. And you can change the name, by the way, when you're building this out. I'm just going to leave it as is. I currently have just too many workflows at the moment. Once I do that, I'm going to click on save, and I'm going to run it in front of you so you can see how things are going or how things are looking here. Once I click on execute workflow, will have the workflow executed. It will load up the document. The default data loader will basically split the document in 1,000 characters and everything. It will load the documents. It will go back and forth. You can see here. It will go back and forth, and by the end, we will have a new namespace here, data with all the records. So currently we have data with the number of records 600. So it's going up and up after each, after each back and forth process. So once we have our execution successful, we can see, excuse me. So once we have our execution successful, you can see we have a namespace called data, and the number of records are in it, right? So this is exactly what we need from this workflow as is. And then we can go and create a new workflow. So for this video and for this simple React chat agent, we need two different workflows. One is going to push the data into Pinecone vector store, and another one is going to get the data from the Pinecone vector store that we just stored in it in the namespace of data, and work it out our way so we can have the chat agent use that specific document to answer any queries or user queries. All right, and then we can do anything we want with it. So I can create a new workflow now, and here in this, I need a new node, which is going to be on message. So when a user messages something to the chat agent, it will trigger and answer that. So it will trigger that workflow and answer that query, whatever the query may be. In here, I need to add another node. Now this node is going to be with AI, and I'm going to add AI agent here. Now AI agent is going to be right here, and I'm going to add a prompt. I have the prompt ready right here, and I'm going to show you how I got to this point after I just uh, uh, tell you how to set up the entire workflow, the rest of the workflow. I'm going to click here, copy this one, this prompt, and come here, paste it, and just go along with it. The chat model is going to be, again, you can use any chat model you want. You can maybe use Claude or Anthropic. It's not that I just love OpenAI. It's not like that. I do love it, but sort of that. Excuse me. Chat model is going to be GPT 4.1 mini, perfectly fine for this specific video. And the memory is going to be simple memory. And for the simple memory, we need to use our context window length. Now, let me explain to you what the context window length means. It's basically, for example, if you're talking to a person back and forth, the five means they will basically understand and remember the previous or the recent most five conversations that you had with them, right? If you put 10, they will remember 10. If you put 20, they will remember 20. Now for the five, it means they will remember five. So for this video, we can just go with five. But if you're building out a different system, obviously you could choose different uh, memories and everything. You could use MongoDB, now Postgres, chat memory. I use MongoDB and Postgres a lot. I don't use anything else, but this is something that you can just get away almost every time, which we will cover in almost different videos that I've just planned, and I'm just trying to record this video. So for this, just go on simple memory, and we have a tool. For the tool, we can attach our tool right here. And that tool is going to be a question answer vector store, question answer tool, and with a limit 4. And the description of data is going to be simply what it should do. Now, it should do is that it should call this tool when call this tool for the user query, all right, for the user question, for the user's query, something like that. It's pretty simple, very complex here. And you need to add your vector store, which is again going to be Pinecone vector store and Pinecone API account. And what we need to do now, we need to select our, it's React chat, I think. Yeah, it's React chat. And the namespace is going to be data that we are pulling our data from. That's it. And retrieving documents, obviously you need to use that as for this process. Once you do that, you click here to embeddings, and once you do that, click on embeddings OpenAI. This is what we are using for the video, embedding 3 small. Remember, the dimensions should match. Okay, let's add the chat model, which is going to be OpenAI chat model, GPT 4.1 mini. Good with me, fine with me. We can just go along with it. So there you have it. This is the complete workflow. It's nothing complex here, nothing super crazy. This is simple workflow. Now I can save this one. All right, now I can save this one, and I can just message, and it will work just fine, hopefully. Or we'll just figure out problems if we see any. So let me show you how I got to the prompt. So basically, you just take a screenshot of this workflow, right? You go to ChatGPT and you tell it, for this, create a prompt, and create a prompt for this specific workflow. It should work like this, that it will have access to Pinecone vector store, and the answer that chat agent gives should be concise, should be simple, incorrect, or something like that. So basically it's something small prompt, and it will give you a prompt like this, like I have right now. And once you do that, you just come here and you put your prompt in this, and it will work just fine. And I'm going to click open chat, and let me see how things are going here. What are my text rights? All right, let's answer this. Let's ask this question and see if this works or not. Double actually that's some camp, but not really. All right, so what's the problem actually here? So what's the problem? So the workflow is working fine. There's nothing wrong in it, but why it's not working? We have the prompt. We have our chatbot input. And we have all right. So sorry, we have to actually add the user query here. The user's query is going to be this, so you can use it and pass this to the other nodes and basically run the workflow and everything. It will basically have our answer ready. The user's query is going to be this, and it should work fine now, right? I click slave, and I just refresh it, so I have a new star. What are my text writes? Let's see if it works now. You can see the time it's running and the tokens it has. Let's see how it goes. All right, wonderful. It consumed 2600 tokens, ran for 13 seconds, and you have your answer beautifully right from this document. Now, this is something that you can sell to clients and they will happily buy it, because you can now have this chat agent answer any questions and you can use it on their website too. And I can also show you how we can do that. First, let me ask it another question. What is the name of the document? What is the name of the document, so you can be sure that this thing is working? So let's see if it's working, so I can basically understand if things are working. Your friend income test. All right, beautiful, it's working. Now, how can you use this workflow specifically to add it as a chat agent or something on your website? Once I copy this link, basically you just go here and you get this link when you make it available. Okay. Oh, I didn't activate the workflow. Activated the workflow. Got it. It's saved. Refresh it. There you have it. It's cool, right? Now, when I ask it, what are the two important text things in the document? I would just go in and ask them that question for me. Let's see how it goes. Okay, it will run the workflow, run the entire workflow, and try to come up with an answer. And there you have it. The two most important things according to it are going to be this and this. So this is how I can do it. And by the way, you can also change it, and you can also play around with this link. You can create your own specific UI. You can maybe add another chat type icon right here on the client website, and they can just put in there and talk to their leads or whatever, and book in meetings with them. That you can make it as much complex and as much useful as you want. So it's basically up to you. So this is it from this video. Hope you liked it. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, and you want anything else, just leave them down below in the description and in the chat box. Yeah. So and I will be so happy to answer any of the questions or comments you may have. All right. Thank you.